Well, here we go again. Good morning. The title for today's video is Finding Lawful Remedies in a Corrupt World. The Anastasia video will happen when it happens. For me, there are more pressing issues I have to deal with in regard to my home. I have only barely scratched the surface in exploring the multitude, well over 1,000 pages of paperwork I have filed in legal issues over the past 10 plus years. Of this I am convinced. Lawful remedies do exist. However, the current system does everything does everything in its power to maintain the fraud and deception as long as it can. They even enforce their pseudo de facto laws with threats, force, and even death. Yes, they kill people who try to stand up for natural rights that the elite have trampled with impunity for a long time. May God help us, and it will take acts of God to bring down the cabal and its demonic infrastructure. Indeed, got an itchy nose. Indeed, I can't focus on much of anything. I didn't read anything in Anastasia book yesterday. I was reading legal documents, including some that I had prepared, looking for particular things that support my case, because my attorney, he's unfortunately, like most attorneys, been trained wrong. He's been trained in de facto law, which isn't law. Everything after the 13th Amendment of the original Constitution is de facto. It's not real. It's not coming from an honest place, and it's why the system is corrupt. The original 13th Amendment, as I've said before and will probably say again, the original 13th Amendment forbid people with titles of nobility, which includes attorneys, from holding public office. Period. They can't be a mayor or a city council man or woman. They can't be anything. And the whole system got distorted and twisted, all out of shape. So I've got to not only find the remedies that I have filed with the court in going through this. I mean, just the papers there's 1,000 pages that I have filed. The box of paperwork is huge, including what the plaintiffs have filed in this case. I mean, it's not just my filings. It's everybody's filings. It's a huge, it's a box. I don't know, I should have measured the box, but it's a large box, and it doesn't even contain all of the papers. All of the papers don't even fit in the box. And it's again, it's a fairly large box that's filled with paperwork. And I'm supposed to wade through that, it's been gone through so many times that it's not in any particular order. It's not arranged so that I can find things quickly. I have to go through, and when I find something that catches my attention, I read it. So it takes a long time. It takes a long time. And one of the papers that I found yesterday had to do with when I was arrested for driving without a license in my house. In my house. But the policeman, under clandestine things, hiding till I opened the front door. I mean, there was nobody in my driveway, nobody at my door. I opened the door to see who rang my doorbell. He was hiding and jumped out from nowhere and started a conversation about the Mary Horgan Center for Spiritual Development, which sign is on my front door. And ended up, I started to get uncomfortable when he started to press issues. I don't even remember what all he did, but I started to back away, and he grabbed me by my arm and came in and put me in a hammerlock where I remember my arm was practically broken. It hurt so bad. It hurt for like 1 to 2 weeks before the pain dissipated in my right arm, and arrested me, took me to jail. I mean, for God's sake, took me to jail for driving without a license, but I was arrested in my home. I wasn't even driving. And I don't remember exactly all the things. I do know I had an international driving permit. And I guess I was arrested and put in jail twice because of that. Because of that. Now I have a regular Florida driver's license, but I'm not a driver. I'm not a driver. I use an automobile for transportation, which is lawful and doesn't require any documentation from any de facto government. And there's now I don't know what, I forget what it's called, but there's a new department, a new federal department of travel. I think it's called the Department of Travel, where you can get a traveler's, not license, but a traveler's certificate or whatever, so that you're free to travel. And it comes with paperwork explaining the truth to police, because they don't know. They don't know. Again, the second time that I was stopped, I was actually stopped for a light being out, and my car was surrounded. As I read the article that I just mentioned, my police that time was surrounded by 5 or 6 other police cars. And there were at least 6 police cars in my house the day that they arrested me in my house. And ironically, it was for driving. And I was in my home. My car parked in my garage. I mean, this is all fraud, folks. And they've been doing this not just to me, but they do it to people all the time. They steal houses. They arrest people. They intimidate people right and left, trying to maintain the lie of the system, which has no basis in actual law. That has no basis. It's de facto. It's in name only. And they have forced this system on you, on me, on our children, on everyone. In fact, they take the birth certificate when we don't even know any better. And since we don't claim our natural rights, they set up a straw man account to hold our assets for us. There are assets, though. And they hold this in our account with our social security number in the United States. And there's probably other numbers or other identification codes in other places. But in any case, in the United States, it's your social security number. And yes, I have a social security number. Yes, I collect social security benefits. I paid into it. It's my money. It's not their money. It's my money. And I don't even get $1,000 a month. Not even $1,000 a month. And I'm supposed to live on that. If they evict me, I'm homeless. I'm fighting for a roof, having a roof over my head. My son doesn't want me to really live with him, and his lifestyle, he's a night person. I'm a morning person. That's a conflict. I understand his tension of not saying, yeah, Dad, you can sleep in this bedroom. Thank God my daughter and her family found another place to live, and it's actually between me and my son's house. It's about the same distance from the school, I think I've said that before, as they are living in my house. But they're going to have their own roof over their head, and they're starting to move out this weekend. The power goes on in their name, I guess, on Friday, and they can start moving in on Friday night. And hopefully by the following weekend they will be completely out, and then I start having people come in and give me whatever money I can get out of the furnishings and things that are in my home. So I mean, I've got so much on my plate, and my intention is not to have to move out of here in early January, as my attorney says. Now, he does say that I can claim bankruptcy, but he gives me another attorney that I would have to pay more legal fees, and I don't have a lot of money. I mean, between my car and the legal stuff, it's drained my entire retirement fund that I was putting aside for my retirement. It drained it. I mean, it took it down to nothing. And thank God, I have already sold some jewelry and stuff, and I have already gotten some donations and stuff like that that's helped put some money back. But I mean, I spend that on bankruptcy, which would delay the thing, but not save it. Anyway, I gotta go. So namaste. Thank you for listening again to my rant.